Good. So hello, everybody. Welcome. My name is Michaela, and I'm a senior associate here at Girls Who Code. So I support teachers, community leaders, educators, librarians, and other organizations to bring free coding activities to their communities. And I also have joining me my amazing colleague, Kenya Kirkman, and we're thrilled to join you all today to discuss some ways to develop holistic and equitable coding programs in your community and how to access some free resources that you can bring right back to your students. Thank you all so much for being here. And now we'll just take a moment to talk a little bit about what we're going to be going through today. We'll start off with some introductions and sharing who we are at Girls Who Code and our movement to close the gender gap in tech. And then we'll dive into strategies for mindfully developing a strengths-based culture centered around connection, care, and empathy. And then we'll move on to a discussion on cultivating inclusivity, equity, and diversity in your own student programs. And then we'll discuss a little bit about how you can bring these strategies to your own communities in a larger way. So that should be really exciting. We'll have some time for questions at the end, and you are welcome to pop them in the chat. Kenya will help answer them as we continue to move through the material. Looking forward to hearing how everybody's doing with our material too. So please be encouraged to use the chat, to stay for questions, all that good stuff. So today we'll start with some basics. Let's take a look at what coding is really. To put it simply, coding is writing commands to instruct a computer to do something in a programming language it can understand. You're simply learning to speak the computer's language. I'm sure a lot of folks here are already very familiar. And at Girls Who Code, we believe that coding is a great way to teach students valuable life skills. It's an endless process of trial and error to try to get the right code in the right place. And that requires resilience and imperfection. And as students tinker with those kinds of challenges, they learn that it's okay to make mistakes and to embrace them as learning opportunities, which helps them remain brave and resilient in the future, no matter the topic they're exploring. And as technology continues to shape the way that we live, computing skills have become some of the most sought after in the US economy. In fact, computing jobs are growing at 3 times the rate of overall job creation. And although we may think that these jobs are concentrated in tech fields within Silicon Valley, probably some very specific companies and individuals, the truth is that 91% of these jobs are located in other places across the country, and 67% of them are in non-tech fields. So thinking art, medicine, agriculture, education, and manufacturing, and so much more. And not only are these opportunities abundant, but also careers in computer science offer an average salary of $100,000 annually, which is double the average US salary. And today alone, there are over 500,000 open computing jobs in the United States, but with just about 91,000 graduates in computer and informational sciences in 2022, and that's pretty average annually as well. You can see that tremendous gap between open roles and qualified individuals to fill those positions. Less than 1 in 5 computer scientists are women, and an even smaller amount are women of color. And this is reflected in New York's current AP Computer Science examination breakdown as well by gender. Only 35% of computer science AP exams were taken by girls. This gender gap in technology has continued to widen over the past few decades, and that's become a huge problem for 2 major reasons. One, when women and non-binary folks are pushed out of these spaces, they lose out on these high-paying and abundant jobs that need to be filled. And 2, we lose out as a society when companies and organizations create new products and programs that don't include diverse perspectives from all walks of life. And as you can see from the tech landscape, specifically in New York, there's a clear need and desire among educators for more computer science education. However, there are some notable barriers to computer science coursework, especially for high schoolers, and in general, even more so for girls. And as a result, there are almost 3 times as many open jobs in New York State as there are college graduates with a degree in computer science in New York State as well. And if underrepresented students are given the chance to develop world-leading computing skills and apply them at US companies and organizations, they'll be at the center of a thriving new digital economy. And most importantly, tripling the number of women working in computing would significantly reduce the skills shortages in American businesses and the organizational landscapes of today. And that is where Girls Who Code comes in. We're an international nonprofit leading the movement to closing the gender gap in technology and changing the image of what a programmer looks like and does. We do this by providing completely free computer science programs to help students prepare for their careers. And the possibilities of how we use technology are truly endless. As I mentioned earlier, 67% of computing jobs are in non-traditional tech fields like medicine, entertainment, education, business, and so much more. And at Girls Who Code, we challenge you to use technology to get creative and to dream really big. And you can see some of the unique ways we've used technology here, from creating a visual album with Lizzo for International Day of the Girl, to a more recent collaboration with Doja Cat with the world's first codable music video. And once a student joins Girls Who Code through any of our free programs, they become part of our sisterhood and are supported by us for life. Our main program and our main focus of today will be our free clubs programming, which provides you with curricula, resources, and support for 3rd through 12th grade students. We also have our summer programs, which are 2-week virtual immersion programs for 9th to 11th grade girls and non-binary students to learn introductions to computer science and to get an inside look at the tech industry through our company partners. We'll have more information for students and communities this winter for 2024, so please stay tuned and stay in touch with us so you can bring that opportunity to any students in your life right now. We also have a downloadable standalone coding set of activities called Code at Home. And you can access that directly from our website right now. That is not age restricted. Adults are welcome to use that material as well. It's a really good starting point for people getting an introduction to our material, and that can be used at any time on demand. And once students in our clubs or our summer programs have participated in any way with us, they get to tap into our exclusive alumni benefits, including our webinar series and our newsletters that offer hiring tips and strategies. We have our College Loops program. We have hiring summits to connect recent college graduates with potential employers. We have technical interview prep, and we are constantly working on other ways to connect with our students as they exit college and enter the workforce. So much to come. But for today's purposes, we're going to focus mostly on clubs programs. And as a reminder, Girls Who Code clubs are a way for you to bring Girls Who Code resources, curriculum, and activities to your community and to start your own clubs. However, summer programs are virtual classrooms that are hosted completely in-house by Girls Who Code. And now that we've discussed a little bit about our programming and the landscape, we can dive right into what clubs look like. Clubs are free programs for 3rd through 12th grade students to join our sisterhood of supportive peers and role models and to use computer science to change the world. We believe that all girls and gender nonconforming students have the ability to change the world through code, and we aim to serve them all, especially those who are underrepresented in computer science in terms of race, creed, or background, are free or reduced lunch eligible, have little to no access or exposure to computer science education, and those who identify as female regardless of gender assignment at birth or legal recognition. I'll also note that for our clubs program, students of all genders are welcome. And the boys are welcome. They wear the t-shirts with just as much pride. And I always think that it's a great opportunity for girls, boys, and students of any gender to know that there are inspiring women in tech and that they too can be an advocate for gender equity wherever they decide to go. And we have 3 pillars that underpin our educational philosophy. By emphasizing more than code, we're not just teaching students how to program, we're teaching them computational thinking skills, how to break down problems and to think creatively, which are helpful skills to have in any profession. We're also empowering our students to be brave and to take risks, building their resiliency to tackle any challenges they may face. Through sisterhood, we let students know that they belong. Research has shown that having a supportive group to learn and grow with can help with retention. We help students feel supported through an emphasis on community and diverse representation in our curriculum. Once students join our supportive and diverse sisterhood, they are members with us for life, and they can ask Girls Who Code for anything and about anything well into their adult years. So questions about applying to college, finding a connection at their dream job, those are all fair game. And finally, we also prioritize real-world relevance and impact, where we show students that they can use computer science to change the world, and we empower them to use computer science skills no matter what they'd like to accomplish. And in order to cater to the unique learning needs and styles of students in different age groups, we've divided our clubs programming into 3rd to 5th grade clubs and 6th to 12th grade clubs. The 3rd to 5th grade program follows a book club model that teaches beginner level concepts with the option of online or unplugged activities. Typically, across the country, these meetings usually run for 5 or more sessions at around 45 to 60 minutes a session, with the option to shorten that time to 20 minutes synchronously if you build out our hybrid option. However, we encourage people to use our programming flexibly. You'll still be a club if you need to, in any way, shave off certain elements of the curriculum in order to fit any time constraints or programmatic constraints, and that is welcome as well. And meanwhile, our 6th to 12th grade programming teaches computer science concepts of all skill levels through flexible curricula and self-guided tutorials. This program usually runs about 10 1 to 2 hour sessions, with most clubs running for a full semester, a year, or year after year. And for a hybrid option, you have the option to do 30 to 40 minutes synchronously and assign the rest of your club members to work independently thereafter. And most importantly, our clubs program is designed that anyone can start a club, no matter how much or how little computer science experience they have originally. So no computer science experience needed to start or facilitate at all. And in addition to ensuring that anybody, regardless of computer science experience, can start and lead clubs, our goal is to minimize your prep time by providing flexible club meeting guides that make it really easy for you to take the curriculum and run with it. For our 3rd to 5th grade clubs, each club meets and it consists of mostly 3 main chunks with an optional opportunity to do community building sisterhood activities to start the meeting off. Our reading is broken down with chapter guides and activities to encourage students to be brave and resilient as they learn about computer science concepts. Plus, we have coding challenges that can be done on a computer using Scratch or entirely offline. And each meeting ends with a stand-up, which is an opportunity for reflection and feedback to begin nurturing that growth mindset. And you'll notice the 6th to 12th grade curriculum is made up of a lot of similar components and also starts off with a sisterhood activity. We have Girls Who Code Tech Spotlights, where club members explore bravery, resilience, creativity, and purpose through real-life examples of computer scientists and women using CS skills in a variety of fields. Afterwards, club members work through Girls Who Code project tutorials to create their Girls Who Code project. And then throughout the club, students will hone their coding skills in programming languages like Scratch, Python, or Swift from Apple. And similar to 3rd to 5th grade curriculum, each 6th to 12th grade meeting also ends with a stand-up. And each of these components can be run in person or virtually, and we offer the flexibility to run portions of your meeting synchronously as a group or asynchronously outside of your club's meeting time. And to start a club, all you need is space in a nonprofit to host that club, like a school, a library, or a community center, or the capacity to host your club virtually through Google Classroom, Zoom, or any other virtual conferencing platform. Technology and internet connection are required for club members of 6th to 12th grade clubs, but that's optional for 3rd to 5th grade clubs. Our curriculum is compatible with PCs, Macs, and Chromebooks, and iPads are an option, but can only be used for our beginner self-guided tutorials in the coding language Swift. And lastly, there are 2 roles that make every club work, which is the facilitator and the decision maker. The facilitator is a volunteer who guides club members through the curriculum, and they have to be 18 years or older and pass a background check if they're not already employed by the club host site. Employees of host sites, like teachers at schools or librarians at libraries, are not required to go through a separate background check. And most importantly, facilitators need absolutely no computer science or technical experience to facilitate a club, because we provide you more than enough resources and support to get started. And the decision maker is somebody employed by the club host site who serves as the point of contact between Girls Who Code and the nonprofit site location. These 2 roles, the decision maker and the facilitator, can be 2 different people, but they can also be the same person. So teachers at schools and librarians at libraries are welcome to be decision makers if that's something that their current structure allows. And once you have those 3 things, you are ready to launch your club. We also support club logistics by providing flexible club meeting guides and virtual facilitation resources, along with recruitment toolkits to help you recruit new club members or facilitators. And we also offer tons of online training and tutorials to help you build your own computer science skills and confidence as a facilitator, whether you're hosting your club in person or virtually. So if you're ready to join us, here is how you do it. To access the club's application, you can head to girlswhocode.com/club supply and make an account on Girls Who Code HQ, our virtual learning platform and one-stop shop for everything related to Girls Who Code. Make sure to indicate that you want to start a club. And then by creating an HQ login, you can preview the curriculum before you even apply. And then you'll find a very quick clubs application, which only takes 10 minutes. And then after your application is approved within 5 to 10 business days, you can use your HQ login to access the full curriculum and everything you need to host your first session. You'll also receive a welcome email with your club code, and that's a unique identifier that your students will use to affiliate with your specific club on the platform. And then once you're ready, you can launch your club at any point during the school year. You'll help students access the curriculum by enrolling them on HQ, using that club code that you received in that approval email, and that's really all there is to it. You have the curriculum, you have your club set up, and you can run with it. And just like we know that everybody can learn to code, we also believe in developing holistic and equitable coding programs. And we don't think that has to be hard either. We have your back. Before we get into exactly how to get started with larger programs, I also want to discuss a few best practices for fostering inclusive programming. These are 5 elements of Girls Who Code clubs that you can incorporate into your community to build community, encourage positive social emotional development, build a supportive network of peers and diverse role models for students, and connect coding to impact. Our Sisterhood activity series helps students acknowledge their successes and strengths, reflect on progress, and build community. Our curriculum provides icebreaker activities, while others are focused on communication or teamwork and innovation. And this last one here is one of my favorites. It's a sample entrepreneurship activity called Pitch a Product. You'll pull together an in-person or virtual cup of a bunch of random adjectives and then a bunch of random nouns in another cup. And you'll have each team or individual within your club choose an adjective and a noun to create a product name. And some of them you can see matching up here. So think glitter coffee, bouncing pants, power potato. And each team or individual has a certain number of minutes. We give them 10, but you can modify that with an imaginary product they'd sell, and then they pitch. Finally, every team will pitch together and their product will come together and then they'll debrief thereafter. So let's say a team or a person got glitter coffee, which is an example we love to use. They might say something like, have you ever wanted to feel the power of a unicorn? Want a drink that's as pretty as a rainbow? Then try glitter coffee. For only $5 a cup, you can get all the shiny caffeine you could ever wish for. And I'm sure with 10 actual minutes to build out something, club teams could come up with something really robust, but you get the gist. And another major component of our club curriculum is providing youth with diverse representation in tech careers. At Girls Who Code, we believe you cannot be what you cannot see. And that's why it's so important to include representation of inspiring and diverse role models that reflect the experiences of your students. So include role models from all facets of identity, especially for underrepresented groups. And these may include diversity in discipline or field, ethnicity, gender, race, social class, religion, ability, age, orientation, and more. When choosing which role models to highlight, you can try to be mindful of including individuals across all these lines of difference. This helps your students not only see themselves reflected, but it encourages them to learn about other identities in a supportive and respectful way. It's also important to deepen your discussions of these role models based on the life skills you hope to instill in your students. So for each Girls Who Code Tech Spotlight we highlight, club members find a role model, they'll read about them or watch a video, and discuss questions related to bravery, resilience, creativity, and purpose. And as I mentioned earlier, we're looking to transform what students think a programmer looks like and does. So if anybody here is familiar with coded bias, that typically happens because a data set has an overrepresentation of certain values. Well, if we only hear about certain tech figures, we're likely to think that there aren't as many diverse examples, just like an algorithm. So our Girls Who Code Tech Spotlights are for students and us adults to help diversify our own mental data sets of what programmers look like and what they do. And these are 2 of our hundreds of spotlights that introduce a role model in tech. Camille Stewart on the left worked in cybersecurity, and Brinley on the right works in advertising at Instagram. Not only do students learn about the work that these pioneers do, but they begin to imagine themselves exploring those kinds of career paths. And at Girls Who Code, we strongly believe in the idea that it's really hard to be what you can't see. And that's why it's so important to have more representation of inspiring and diverse role models that reflect the experiences of your students. Moral here's dream was to become a professional dancer, but she also loved coding. And as a student, these two professional paths seemed totally separate to her. However, Moral did not settle for the status quo. After working as a software engineer at Bloomberg, she realized that the two seemingly separate worlds of dance and code could come together to create something magical. And eventually, Illuminate was born. In 2009, Meral Kotov founded Illuminate, a dance group that uses wireless lighting programs to create explosive and very colorful performances, and she still serves as its CEO. Since Illuminate's debut on America's Got Talent in 2011, the group has traveled across the world performing with the Black Eyed Peas and David Guetta, as well as starring in an off-Broadway show and The X Factor. And we have a video on the next slide, which will hopefully be able to transfer audio, but you can learn a little bit more about discovering Moral's dream, combining dance and code, and how she learned how to bring those passions together.
People who are not in STEM and kind of have an outside look at software development sometimes don't understand how truly creative it is. Reading lines of code is like reading poetry. It's an art form in itself, and it's a culture of really bringing ideas to light. I started coding when I was 9 years old, and I've been dancing since I think I was able to walk. My father is a dancer, so it was in my blood.
So there's one A where Mateo's on his own?
Mm-hmm. So I had a plan in life. I had a direction. I was going to be a professional dancer. Everything was lined up. And then I got cancer. It changed the whole path of my life. While I was in recovery, I'm not really good at sitting still. So I was writing software from the hospital bed. I got almost obsessed. Like it was something that just kept me going. And when I came back home, I wanted to dance again. I was in the midst of trying to find ways to mix dance and technology, and that's when I came up with the idea of the light suits and wirelessly programming them to make really amazing visual art.
All right, I'm gonna stop at this cue when it starts. Let's just see if this is right before they dance.
We were up hours and hours and hours writing the software and trying different things, and it was just a lot of fun. The end product is as simple as me pressing one button and the lights turn on, and another button and they change color, and a few buttons and a sequence happens. We were performing in public spaces, and the more positive reactions we got, the more confident I was to just go for it. And just a few months after that, we were on America's Got Talent, and the rest is kind of history.
It's groundbreaking what you do. It's incredible. You create everything from zero, and it's just brilliant.
We worked with Chris Brown, Death Cab for Cutie, Christina Aguilera, Black Eyed Peas. Then we also had our own show that has been on in the heart of Broadway for several years and is touring both nationally and internationally. It can go on and on. The future for Illuminate is definitely education. I want to be able to have students from different backgrounds work and collaborate together, because if you learn how to respect people who do something different than you and have them respect you back, that kind of skill set will really take you farther in life.
She is amazing. So students would watch a video, just like we did, of Meral describing in her own words her experience combining computer science and dance. And then they discuss how Meral and her work relates to the strengths that great computer scientists focus on building. And here are some of the questions that you might want to use if you wanted to use Meral specifically as a tech spotlight. And this leads us directly to our next component that is unique to our 6th to 12th grade clubs. Our club curriculum, coding tutorials and activity sets encourage club members to create a Girls Who Code project. These projects can be centered around a topic that club members care about. The Girls Who Code project is essential to our pillar of relevance and impact by asking students to use the coding skills they learn in clubs to address a topic they select and are passionate about. And then that's the primary way our 6th to 12th grade club students experience real-world hands-on learning where they can see that they can make a difference with code. So whether it's addressing social justice issues like the climate change themed game you can see on the top right, or raising mental health awareness, combating educational inequality or bullying, or emphasizing the importance of data security, club students find just incredibly creative ways to make an impact by building websites, games, or apps, and the sky is really the limit with what they decide to create. And then the last portion of a typical club session is the stand-up. A stand-up is a practice that real software developers use to keep other members of their team up to date on what they're working on, what they might need help with, and any accomplishments they've made. Stand-ups let club members keep each other updated on progress, roadblocks, and accomplishments. It's a chance to get feedback and to ask for help and to celebrate. You can see some of the stand-up prompts we've used in club listed here, but you are welcome and encouraged to use your own based on what you think your students need at the time. And we've discussed a number of ways to address diversity, equity, and inclusion in your coding programs, and more specifically, how Girls Who Code's Free Clubs program provides that all-inclusive and readily accessible framework that you can access to make these strategies and take them back to your students and community. And you can make time for moments of celebration too. And we're here to help with coding challenges, larger clubs activities, and end-of-year club graduations. We have an ever-changing array of opportunities for students to connect, engage, and take pride in their accomplishments. And in addition to celebrating wins and successes, help students build resilience by celebrating mistakes as learning opportunities. Our founder, Reshma Sajani, has always believed in teaching students to be brave, not perfect. This resilience is key to persisting in tech fields in the future. Therefore, it's important to celebrate successes throughout the year and during each club meeting through stand-ups and reflection activities. And don't forget to also celebrate failures. Often, girls especially are socialized to be perfect and to stray away from failures. However, you can help your students build resilience by celebrating mistakes as learning opportunities. Our founder even started #FailureFriday on her Instagram as a way to celebrate one way she failed that week and to share what she learned. Encourage your students to celebrate their successes and their failures to begin building that growth mindset. We also encourage clubs to provide opportunities for students to connect. Some ways you can try to build connection, care, and empathy is to create a collective mascot to care for. Scratch is one of our coding languages that we focus on, and they have a logo called Scratchy the Cat. And one of our clubs had a Scratch project where each week a new club member would choose a different location, outfit, and saying for Scratchy. You can also build in a buddy system where each month you pair up your club members so they can get to know each other further, and also to have accountability for coming to club meetings, especially if you know your friend's going to be there. You'll probably want to be there too. And lastly, it's always great to modify your day's activities based on a pulse check of how your club members are feeling. And you can Google some really great charts for this, like on a scale of feelings or blob tree, and you'll see some great images like what I have here. And those can provide a really low touch and less direct way for you to get a quick pulse check of the room as well. And in addition to classroom agreements, you can create leadership opportunities to help your students feel even more engaged and included, as well as building essential leadership skills and responsibility. At Girls Who Code, our clubs outline 5 optional roles you'll see here. There's the technology officer who assists the facilitator with routine maintenance of computers and tablets, phones, and other devices necessary for the implementation of club curriculum. The coding coach supports the facilitator with implementation of coding activities provided in the curriculum and offers assistance to beginner level club members. There's the social media chair, also known as the hype person, who helps the facilitator with regular documentation of club activities, including taking photos, maintaining a blog or a vlog, or another digital hub to showcase club activities and to spread the word. Then we have the project lead, who assists the facilitator with timely completion of cumulative projects during the club cycle to support things like meeting deadlines, submitting the project to the project gallery, and any other club goals. Finally, the supplies monitor helps the facilitator with keeping track of the club's practical needs, like working devices, school supplies, and the ever-important snacks. Find what works well for your students and make space for them to learn and grow as young leaders. We also recommend that you switch roles throughout the year to give all students opportunities to grow their leadership skills in a variety of areas and ensure visibility and representation of all students. So while contemplating how you might want to incorporate these tools into your own curricula with students, you can ask yourself the following questions to better clarify exactly how you might want to put these practices into motion. So to become more focused on incorporating community building activities, you might ask yourself when and how you'll incorporate them in and bring community builders in. So lots of different ways that we have outlined here that you can use to decide exactly how these pillars might fit well into your own work. And now that we discussed the ways that you can foster inclusivity in coding programs and any programming you decide to use, we'll discuss a little bit further about how you can bring Girls Who Code specifically to your whole community and to expand your whole sisterhood. We create customized, thoughtful partnerships with state and local leaders, school districts, community organizations, libraries, after-school networks, and colleges and universities to provide students access to our free clubs curriculum and our summer immersion program. Together, we can help you meet your STEM goals in your organization, provide additional professional development opportunities for you and your staff, and even give additional free Girls Who Code swag to everybody in your network who participates. And our partnership also means that every facilitator in your network is part of an even larger Girls Who Code support system. So as you can see from the quote from one of our amazing community partners on the right, forming a partnership led to a huge expansion of Girls Who Code clubs and thereby computer science activity across their school district. And at Girls Who Code, we're dedicated to creating a partnership that best suits your specific organization. And that's why we have two types of community partners. We have host partners and connector partners. So if your organization directly supports potential club host sites, so you're a school district or a library network with multiple sites that can host multiple clubs, you can become a host partner and launch clubs at multiple locations in your network and spread the word about our summer immersion program to eligible students too. But some people in their organizations don't have direct access to potential club host sites. So that might include STEM hubs or larger after-school networks. And those organizations can become connector partner with us. And they can spread the word about clubs and summer immersion programs to their community through things like newsletters, hosting webinars with us, and a lot more. And as a community partner, you'd get access to a long list of additional benefits beyond just what single clubs receive to better support your multi-club network. We have year-round support from a dedicated Girls Who Code community partner manager. We also have community partner programs, dashboards, and toolkits on HQ to help support and track your community's engagement. We also have monthly updates in our community partner newsletter and exclusive invitations to our quarterly community partner webinars where you'll get to meet other community partners that are with us. We also have facilitator recruitment webinars and professional development opportunities for your community hosted by your community partner manager, and priority access to things like special events, additional support, incentives, and more for any clubs that are specifically affiliated with your organization. And priority consideration as well to our 2024 summer immersion program for your students. So lots of different ways to connect with us. Thank you so much for joining us today. And if you're ready to apply for a club or to join us in partnership, I'm putting into the chat exactly how you can do so to get started, but we are so grateful for your time, and I will continue to be here for questions, and you are still welcome to sign in to get a copy of this deck as well. But I'll pause here for any questions. Thank you all.